Hello students, good day. My dear students, how are you? Yeah, you are all fine. If you are all fine, I am also fine. Thank you. Students, if you are ready, I shall start the class. Yeah, if you listen to me, I will start the class. So, by this time you have understood that we are somehow going to deal with some if conditions. I will show you a picture of a teacher and a student who reads well here. You can see here, he is a student, he reads well. His teacher, how his teacher advises him, you can see here. If you study harder, you will get good grade. You can see here, if you study harder, you will get good grade. This is one of the normal teacher's advice that we get in our schools. So, here you can see here a teacher is talking to a student. Perhaps this is a dullard, somehow an irregular student. Though he is an irregular student, a dullard, how the teacher advises him, you can see here. If you studied harder, you would get grade. You can once again see the sentence here. If you studied harder, you would get grade. If you studied harder, you would get grade. Here you can observe the verb studied and you would. So, it expresses somehow improbable, somehow unlikely to happen. Though he may not get good grade now instance, but the teacher encourages him, if you studied harder, you would get good grade. Here we can also see another sentence here, a student, he seems to be a student here, he works in a petrol bunk. That means, he has not qualified for the examination and he is going to appear once again for the coming examination, and he works in a petrol bunk. There a teacher happens to see him, how the teacher advises him here, like you can see here how the teacher, if you had studied harder, he would have got good grade. Once again, if he had studied harder, he would have got good grade. So, here you can see here in the if condition, he had studied harder and he would have got a grade. Okay. That also this condition is a completed condition, a happened condition. So, here he did not study hard and he did not get good grade. This is an unfulfilled condition. We can also say that is an impossible condition, and we shall see here how the conditional sentence appear here in this. The conditions are meant for if x occurs, then y occurs. You can see here, if x occurs, then y occurs. So, you can see a sentence here, if John leaves now, he will go to school on time. If John leaves now, he will go to school on time. Here, if John schools now, somehow it is a conditional sentence, and this is a result. If this condition is fulfilled, this result will be obtained. So, we can say here this is a conditional sentence or a subordinate clause, and this is a result sentence and a main clause. Here two actions are involved, this is x and this is y. If x occurs, that means in the form of if John leaves now, he will go to school on time. If x occurs and y also occurs. We can see here in another sentence, the meaning of the if here, if is equal to as long as. So, we cannot say the exact meaning of x. So, we can bring closer the meanings of if. So, in the place of if we can use as long as the meaning will be the same. You can see here, as long as John leaves now, he will go to school on time. So, we can substitute if John leaves now, he will go to school on time. Once again I will show you another meaning. If is meant for provided that. So, John will go to school on time provided that he leaves now. Here if means here. So, we can say the sentence like this: John will go to school on time if he leaves now. So, by this time we have understood if means as long as, and if means provided that, and if also means whenever also. We shall learn the meaning of whenever in our future lesson. Now, we shall go to a sentence with examples. You can see here, these are the world best tennis players. These two are, you can see him, he is Roger Federer and he is Rafael Nadal. They might be world's second and third rank or first rank. They are the world Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. They are going to play Wimbledon like this. So, before they play Wimbledon finals, this Federer speaks like this. You can understand here, if we play tennis, I will win. So, there is a strong possibility and strong probability, because he is the world number 1 now, and he says if we play tennis, I will win. So, this is one type of condition. This is called condition 1 or probable condition. Okay. And I will show you another sentence, the structure of this if plus present and will plus infinitive. Here if plus present, the verb is in present, and will plus infinitive. Infinitive means the verb in the present form. I will show you another here. This is called first conditional, and here you can watch this two great women tennis players, Serena Williams and Sonia Mirza. So, Serena Williams she might be world's second or third rank, and Sonia Mirza is has got 150th or 160th rank in the world tennis stars. So, here Sonia Mirza says like this: if we played tennis, I would win. So, here once again if we played tennis, I would win. This is a less probability, that is improbability. Here we can see the structure of the sentence also here like this: if plus past and would plus infinitive. So, the second conditional or improbable condition. Once again, if we played tennis, I would win. Students, remember here, so you can watch here, the verb is in past time. Here the verb is also in the past expression. That does not mean that it is a past action, it is a future action. So, expressing future action, quite improbable action and quite unlikely to happen action, we can say in the past expression. That is the one of the expressions in English language. Here the time is future, Once again I will show you the third condition. These two tennis players are Mahesh Bhupati and Bopanna, one of the greatest Indian players, and they have not played the World Olympics, and before they play Olympics, of course they did not qualify for Olympics, and if we had played tennis in the Olympics, we would have won. That means they did not play in the Olympics and they did not win the game. It is a past action, and if plus past participle and would have plus past participle. Here the structure is if plus past perfect and would have plus past perfect. Here the tense is had played, and the main action is would have won, would plus have plus participle. This is the third condition or impossible condition or unfulfilled condition. So, here by this time we have learned the first condition, that is probable condition, and the second condition is improbable condition, and third condition is impossible condition. Now, let us learn the time of the conditions once again, the third condition and impossible condition. Here conditions are expressed in 3 times. One is the present time, that is expressed in present tense, and the past time and future time. The present time, as you earlier I gave you an example of the teacher, if you study harder you will pass the examination, and if you studied harder you would pass the examination, and if you had studied harder and you would have passed the examination. Like that if conditions they can be expressed in 3 tenses. Once again I will explain to you an example here. The position of the if condition sentence structure. Here you can see a doctor and he is an obese man, a fat man. How the doctor advises him, if you eat too much you get fat. Here you can see the position of if condition is the first part of the sentence, and the result of the sentence is that is the main clause in the second part of the sentence. So, whatever the sentences precede, the meaning will be the same. Normally, if we in spoken English we can also speak like that. If you get fat if you eat too much. This is also a correct sentence. You get fat if you eat too much. That is equal to, in written English normally, if you eat too much you get fat. Remember, you can as well observe here in this subordinate clause after if there is a comma. In the main clause there will not be any comma. Here we can replace the place of the if condition also. Now, we shall go further in obtaining the meaning of the if conditions. One is a probable condition, that is the result. You can see here one of the world's here he is the world's fastest runner, Bolt. Do you know who he is? He is Bolt, world's fastest runner, and before he go to run, before he is going to participate in the Olympic games, he thinks in his mind, if I win the race I will get the medal. You can see the sentence here, if I win the race I will get medal. This is a result. If this condition is fulfilled, this result will be obtained. This is a highly probable condition, and condition number 1. Here you can see the verb is in present tense and will plus the verb is in present tense. This is improbable. Here you can see a runner who has almost not reached the mark here. He has already reached the mark here. Still he thinks in his mind, if I won the race I would get the medal. This is quite improbable. He cannot come, he cannot win the race now. Though that is improbable, unlikely to happen, he thinks in his mind, if I won this race I would get the medal. This is improbable condition. Here you can see the verb here, won is in past expression and would is also in past expression. Now we are going to learn an impossible condition. He is one of the greatest British players. He is John Murray, and recently he has been defeated in the Olympics in the Wimbledon's finals. He thinks after he has been defeated, he thinks like this, if I had played well I might have won. Here you can see the modal auxiliary might or could or would. These are the modal auxiliaries. Here he thinks, he looks back, it is unfulfilled condition. If I had played well I might have won. Here you can see the verb here, had played, this is in past perfect tense, and might have won. So, might plus have plus won, this expresses that this action is already completed and we cannot get back this result here. Here this is an example of another unfulfilled condition. Here this is Murray and Federer, and after getting the Wimbledon title, how Federer advises him here. You can see here, if you had played well you could have won. Here I am going to show you the difference between might and could and might and would. These three are would, might and could. These three are modal auxiliaries. They can be used after the if condition according to the expression and meaning of the situation here. If you had played well, you could have won. You can see here you could have won. So, now once again I have given you three examples, that is probable condition, improbable condition and impossible condition or unfulfilled conditions. So, students, whatever the names of the conditions might be, you have to observe here how we express if conditions in different situations in our spoken English or in our expressions in English, how we express them. Of course, every human being speaks with some purposes. We always speak on conditions. If I do this, you will do this. If you do that, I will do this. Like that, we always speak our conditions. So, in an abstract sense, the meaning that we want others to accept with our words, with our expression. So, to achieve that, we often use conditions. So, if we learn these if conditions and the expression and meaning and purposes and forms of these conditions, then we can be a better speaker of English language. Now, I am going to show you a detailed meanings and expressions of if conditions with respect to their situations, that means a real situation and unreal situation like this. So, conditionals are two types mainly with respect to the function. Here we are going to learn their functions, their conditions in real situations and unreal situations. Students, here don't confuse that I am going to explain to you another types of conditions. I am going to explain to you the same types of conditions that we have learnt so far. Those are probable and improbable and impossible, like condition 1, condition 2 and condition 3. All these conditions, how they mean in order to be expressed, how we take those help in the real situations and unreal situations. So, in a brief sense, we can divide the conditions, real conditions and unreal conditions. How the real conditions are? So, you can see here real conditions once again are generic conditions, that means scientific or general conditions, and real conditions are habitual conditions, habitual and inference future conditions. So, generic habitual inference future. So, we are going to learn them in detail. The unreal conditions are divided into two types, that is hypothetical, that means imaginary conditions, and counterfactual conditions. Counterfactual conditions, I will explain to you the meaning of counter means opposite. The meaning of counter is opposite, factual means a fact. So, opposite to fact means that is impossible or highly unlikely to be happen. So, we shall learn in detail, we shall learn them in detail. This is a generic condition or zero condition. Here the condition will be 0. You can see here about a paper boat, how it floats in the water. So, this is a scientific. In order to get these scientific expressions, we almost use a zero condition here. If you put a paper boat on water, it floats. Here you can see, if you put if plus subject plus put verb, a paper boat on water, it floats. If plus infinitive form of the verb. So, it will float, it may float, it can float. You need not tell them with the help of modals. So, it is certain to happen. That is why here the condition is 0, the result is certain. So, here once again it is a 0 condition, you can call them as a generic condition. Generic conditions are used to express universal facts, scientific truths like this. So, when we express these scientific facts and universal truths, we express these expressions in zero condition. Now, I am going to show you another example. If a rubber band is stretched beyond its elastic limit, it breaks. If a rubber band is stretched beyond its elastic limit, it breaks. Here is stretched. Here you can see the verb is in passive and simple present tense, and it breaks. The resultant is it breaks. Here also there are no modal verbs in the main condition. So, here you can see a third type of, if you here somebody is heating water, and if you heat water at 100 degrees centigrade, it boils. If you heat water at 100 degrees centigrade, it boils. You can see here. And once again, if you put, if blue litmus paper is dropped in acid, it turns red. Once again, if blue litmus paper is dropped in acid, it turns red. So, here I am going to explain to you habitual conditions. So far we have learnt generic conditions, and next we are learning habitual conditions. Remember, these are real conditions. So, whatever the conditions might be type 1, type 2, type 3, these are real to real conditions. So, habitual conditions, if they go to Delhi, they visit Taj Mahal. So, that means whenever they go to Delhi, they visit Taj Mahal, they go to Agra and they visit Taj Mahal, that is their habit. So, you can say here, you can replace if with a whenever. Whenever they go to Delhi, they visit Taj Mahal. We will go another example, a past habit here, a past habit and used to, that is expressed in year 2000. If I saw him in the street, he would just say good morning, how a lady says. So, that means if I saw him in the street, he used to say good morning, a past habit. So, in real conditions, we take the help of past tense also in order to express past habit. Here you can see, you can recognize him, he is a famous cricket commentator, Harsha Bogle, and it is his childhood photo, how he was in childhood and how he is now, and how he expresses like this, if I was not forced to learn English, I would never have chance to speak English. That means in his childhood, he was forced to learn English. His father might have forced him to learn English. That English helps him to work as one of the world's best commentators. So, he expresses that in the past habit, if I was not forced to learn English, I would never have chance to speak English. Now, inference conditions. So far we have learned generic conditions and habitual conditions. Now we are going to inference conditions. You can see the bird. What is that? It's a bird. It's a bird, a small bird. We can normally see it in our houses. It's a sparrow. Sparrow. Nowadays, we don't see it often, very often nowadays in our houses because they are disappearing from the nature. So, the inference is if x then y follows, and if we do some action then y, we can follow y. So, here if we can save the sparrow from extinction, we can certainly save bald eagle also. You can see it is a bald eagle, it is a sparrow. So, here if we can save the sparrow from extinction, we can certainly save bald eagle. That means extinction means here they are disappearing from the nature due to the air pollution, due to human beings and due to some biodiversical problems. The sparrows are disappearing. Like this, the bald eagles are disappearing. Here you can see after we can as a modal verb, and after the main verb can is also modal verb. This is a special type of condition, that is an inference condition. Inference means getting meaning, the resultant action, that is if x then y follows. I will see another inference condition. This is a beautiful hand of a woman, she is wearing a ring. This might be a wedding ring, and we can say like that. If she is wearing a wedding ring, if she is wearing a wedding ring, she might have gotten married. If she is wearing a wedding ring, she might have gotten married. This is an inference, getting the meaning from the condition. This is also a kind of type of condition, and this is a future, expressing future. Here it is raining heavily, and a man is watching the rain, and he is quite frightened that the river might flood also. He expresses like this in if we get more rain, the river is going to flood. If we get more rain, the river is going to flood. This is a future action. He is quite afraid that river might get flood. Here you can see he is going to is in present continuous tense, and this is a future action. He is going to is expressed here to express a future action in the form of a present condition. This is one kind of a future condition. You can see he is a bus. A gentleman is running to get the bus, and by the time the bus is moving, and somebody is there in the bus, and he advises him, if you run faster, you should get the bus. If you run faster, you should get the bus. A good probability. That means there are chances. The chances are high because he is very nearer to the bus. Good probability that expresses a future. In future, he may get into the bus. Here you can see another future action. He is quite distant from the bus. In this case, his friend who is in the bus may advise him like this, if you run faster, you may get the bus. You may get into the bus. This is possibility. Chances are there. Equal chances are there. But you have to run faster than the bus runs. So, this is also a future kind of an expression, and here you can see here he is almost quite distant. The distance is very high. He cannot get the bus. He may not reach the bus. This is weak possibility. That means the possibility of happening, the possibility of getting into the bus are very less. Bleak chances are there. Then in this case, his friend advises him, if you run faster, you might get the bus. This is a future action. Future action. If you can run faster, you might get the weak possibility. So, like this in future actions, we take the help of these modal auxiliaries. Now, here you can see hypothetical condition. This is unreal in the unreal conditions. In hypothetical means imaginary conditions, assuming conditions, unreal conditions. Here a girl, how she is dreaming, if I had money, I would go around the world. If I had money, I would go around the world. This means this girl doesn't have money now, so she dreams as if she had money, she would go around the world, she would wander around. So, many of us also we think that if I had money, I would buy a car. If I had money, I would study in a Delhi public school, like this. This is hypothetical, means imaginary condition that is not true. Here once again the result is if I went round the world,